Hello, this is R.S. Khamitkar from Department of Electronics and Computer Engineering, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. In continuation with the online EDA tool that we have started way back, we already covered the basic online EDA tool using Tinkercad. Apart from that, how to interface a simple LED and blink it. And afterwards, we have seen the button interfacing with the Arduino board. Now in this particular session, we'll cover up the part of interfacing the LDR, that is light dependent resistor, with the Arduino board to give the decision making, or as an input we will be taking that LDR, and according to the light intensity the device will be turned on or turned off, that is LED will be turned on or turned off. So earlier we have completed with the tool use of online EDA tool to interface button and LED. In this particular session we'll utilize that for interfacing of LDR. So let's go ahead and we'll check out. In this we have already worked on the circuit part, so we'll click on this, we'll tinker this. Now if you see on the screen, this is the light dependent resistor that we have taken up. This particular light dependent resistor, through the voltage divider network, the input is given to the A0 terminal, which is an analog input terminal of the Arduino board. One of the terminal of this particular LDR is connected to the VCC and the resistor terminal is connected to the ground. Similarly, this particular LED is connected to pin number 9, and the cathode of that particular LED through the resistor, it is connected to the pin number 9, digital pin 9, and then the other terminal, which is the cathode of that LED, is connected to the ground. Now what is our purpose for this particular part of interfacing in LDR is by varying this value of LDR. By varying this value of LDR, what we will try to do is whenever certain threshold level is sparred. So take an example like if the street lights, we are looking at that street lights during the evening or evening hours, whenever there is a darkness coming up, so the darkness, with that darkness your LED or the street light should be turning on, and whenever the in the morning, whenever there is a light coming up naturally, then the LEDs or that particular street light should be turned off. So for that purpose, this particular circuit using the LDR is very useful. So how to achieve it? So if we see this particular thing here, we are controlling this particular LED. Instead of LED, we can interface the relay. In upcoming sessions, like, we will try to understand how to interface the relay also. So let's try to understand the code for this. Here if you see it, integer sensor reading equals to 0. Now sensor reading is this particular LDR. Whatever the value of this particular voltage across this particular LDR coming up, that will be converted into the 10-bit ADC that is present inside this particular IC at Mega 328. It will be taking it as an input and it will convert it into a 10-bit value. That 10-bit value will be converted into the 0 to 1023 range. Now that value we will get inside this particular variable sensor reading. So for that we have taken this particular variable. Then comes the pin mode. So A0 will take it as an input. Then there is a serial dot begin as a 9600. So whatever values are coming from the sensor, we wish to know the values that are coming. So we'll initialize this particular serial dot begin. Similarly, the pin mode 9 as an output, where we have already connected the LED. You can see that the LED is connected in here. Now Sensor reading. So if we see that sensor reading, it will read that using analog read at A0. So A0, we have connected this particular LDR, and due to voltage divided network, it will provide me the voltage. Now whatever value coming up from this particular sensor reading, we are transferring it to the print serial monitor. So we'll check it out. So it is always better to have the serial monitoring for debugging purpose. I will show you how to see that values also using this particular thing. Now here for time being, what I had done is, if that particular sensor reading is greater than 600, as I already told, it is a 10-bit value. It will vary from 0 to 1023 value. So if it comes out to be a greater than 600, what we are doing here is simply we are writing high on pin number 9 where the LED is connected, so that LED will be turned on whenever this value goes up above the 600, and whenever this value is down below that particular 600 level, this will be low and that LED will be turned off. So simple logic in this particular program is this. So if I try to run this by starting the simulation, if you see it, right now the LED is not turned on, right? So if you see here, there is a darkness right now, and if we come up, can you see it, like the value? Now the LED has turned on, but now what is the value at serial monitor? So if you see it, the serial monitor is showing me the value. So if I click on this particular thing, and if I go ahead, and there is like values changing. So if I make it as in complete darkness, this particular value is reducing. But what is the variation? If I completely make it a bright one, I got this particular value. But as per our logic, as the if there is a light, it should turn off, and if there is a darkness, it should turn on. So what should be done in the code so that it will work as per our expected logic? Think of it, like pause the video for a second and then think of it. Okay, right. So if we convert, or rather change this particular thing, instead of greater than, if we convert it into less than, the logic that we have said, right, the moment the particular thing happen, so if there is a darkness, it should turn on. So I will take this particular value, and then if I click on it, and if I go towards the light, now you can see that as I am going towards the light, the value is increasing and the LED is turned on. Now if we feel it, we need to adjust it. We need to adjust this particular thing. So what we can do is we can simply take this particular thing into consideration and change the value. So threshold value we can always change in this particular part. So instead of 600, if we feeling it is in very low, we can convert it in, or we can take it as an 850 or 860 as such. So 850, if we start the simulation again, now this particular LED is turned on. Now if we continue on this, you can see that the moment it cross over the 850 mark, the LED is turned on or LED is turned off and beforehand. So as the darkness comes up, so it is a full bright part, and whenever there is a darkness coming in, we can see that there is a value coming up. So the moment it cross over the 850 mark, the LED is turned on. Now the same logic we can apply it for the street light example. So with that particular thing, what we can do is we can utilize this particular LDR for various projects also. Like if there is a darkness at some places, and we want to, and on the basis of amount of darkness, we want to turn on that particular light, or we want to take some action. Even in the security alarm systems, that for simple stuff, we can use this particular LDR. So we'll stop the simulation. I will explain this code again. Sensor reading, this variable is particularly taken to take the input from the sensors, and that sensor, whatever value is read by analog read, is of 10 bit, which will provide the values in the form of integer from 0 to 1023. So pin mode is for taking the input from the A0, is an analog input pin that we are connected to the LDR. Serial dot begin, as you see here, there is a serial monitor where the values can be monitored for better debugging purpose. Then the pin mode 9, where which is an output, which is LED for an indication purpose that we are utilizing. The loop, where sensor reading is updating the values by analog reading the A0 pin. Serial dot println, the values, whatever the every new line, this particular serial monitor is provided with the sensor reading values. Whenever the sensor reading value comes and below, it goes below that 850 mark, which is the threshold value, we can always change this particular threshold value also, and the direction also. It will convert the condition, and as per that the LED will be turned on or turned off. So it is very simple indeed. So this is the basic utilization. In this particular session, we have seen that online EDA tool can be used to interface the LDR. So thank you so much, everyone.